Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. What I have for you guys today is not at all what I planned. I went out on a date with my girlfriend, we went to go see Birds of Prey, and then I was like, oh hey, I haven't recorded new Batman Arkham Asylum videos for my YouTube channel. But like with that mindset, I was on my way home and I was like, let me check the Mortal Kombat leaks Reddit. Let me see if anything's been popping off, especially with Final Kombat happening next month. So I was like, let me check it out. Let me see if anything interesting has been going on. Probably some combo. I was actually expecting like combo videos, whatever the hell, right? And then I stumbled upon this image. And upon reading it while inside the Uber, I had some thoughts. And I wanted to share some thoughts with, I wanted to share those thoughts with you guys because some of it is interesting. Some of it is, you know what? We'll get there together, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to read this together and digest it one more time. And I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it because I've got some thoughts. Before we do that, though, if you could do me the huge favor of giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel, maybe telling your friends about me, it would really help a small channel like me out. If you're a little on the fence about subscribing, I totally understand. I'm going to leave a couple of links down below inside the description for some of the things that I've done. I'll also attach a few videos. I'll attach a few videos at the end of this video so that you can, click on it, get a lay of what my channel is like. And should you like what you see, then feel free to subscribe. If that makes you feel better, then please, by all means. I want you guys to enjoy what I'm putting out, and I enjoy doing videos like this for you guys. But without further ado, let's read this together, because it's interesting, and it's thought-provoking for the future of Mortal Kombat 11. So here, right, this very first paragraph, it's just the typical, like, leaker jargon, like, oh, I'm not going to talk about how I got this info, who I've been talking to, blah, blah, blah. We can just skip that, right? So, moving on down here, we have Fujin, Shiva, and Ash Williams of the Evil Dead series, voice and likeness by the legendary Bruce Campbell, will be included in Kombat Pack 2. These, however, were already known. Yes, like, we already know, they were like, when the game launched, we saw leaks from the PC version, and there was character dialogue, names, like, within the folders and whatnot. So, Fujin, Shiva, Ash Williams, already in everybody's heads. There was the Kombat Pack the initial reveal with just the names of the characters, and at the very ending you could hear a chainsaw. As of right now, that didn't really amount to anything because the Joker's in it. I'm not complaining because the Joker's really fun, but like these three names, it's already like at the forefront of our brains, right? So continuing on, they will also be joined by Takeda, Havoc, and Michael Myers. Takeda being one of the more popular characters from the previous Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat X. Havoc has been one of the most requested 3D era characters, and Michael Myers has just been, I feel like it's the more obvious choice because we've been getting horror icons, and with the hype surrounding the last movie that came out and the hype surrounding the new movie that's coming out this year, 2020, it just makes sense, right? But I have certain thoughts on Michael Myers, but I'll go into that later. Myers will release in time to coincide with the release date of Halloween Kills, just like I mentioned. Cassie Cage will get a babysitter skin inspired by Laurie Strode. Not very happy about that, but let's continue. We will also get 2 new arenas in Kombat Pack 2, the Deadpool and the Soul Chamber. We knew about those from leaks. The second pack's release schedule will take us into early 2021. Now, 2020 obviously just started. The developers did go on to say that Mortal Kombat 11 will get the most support out of any NetherRealm title, so we'll go back to that too. In 2021, we will get one last batch of content in the form of Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, roughly around the 2nd anniversary of Mortal Kombat 11's original release date. This Ultimate Edition will ship with 2 more arenas, the Living Forest and the Pit, as well as 4 final characters added to the roster: Sector, Cyrax, Quan Chi, and Serena. These characters and arenas will also be available as downloads if you already have a copy of the game for an additional price. Extra story chapters for certain DLC characters, as well as new additional arenas for the crypt for the crypt were originally planned but scrapped late last year after the whole overworking their employees debacle. They decided to shift focus to solely arenas, characters, and their cosmetics while work begins on their next title, Injustice 3. More Combat League seasons are planned and on the way, and which will include new skins for base characters as well as Combat Pack 1 characters. That's a lot. Right? That's like, it's very meaty, but it's very to the point that I appreciate. So, going back to the top, Fujin, Shiva, Ash, because of the leaks, we already knew about that. It was hypothesized that Ash was replaced by Joker, possibly due to scheduling conflicts, and the Joker movie was coming out in 2019, and I think they wanted to like match that up. Like, people go see the Joker movie months later into the new year, Joker would come out. Just like I mentioned earlier, I'm not let down that Ash Williams was possibly moved back for the Joker. The Joker is like the most fun DLC character we've gotten so far. So, and they did like a fantastic job with him. Not complaining. Fujin, highly requested. Shiva, her new redesign is like too amazing to not waste. But again, like leaks, like we already know that she's potentially coming. They also be joined by Takeda, Havoc, and Michael Myers. Takeda's playstyle was among the coolest of the new characters in MKX, and he's personally my favorite of what we in the community deemed the combat kids. It's just a nice mix between technology and a ninja. So it's like the cyber ninja, but without the cyborg or the cyberization like required to be a cyber ninja. And then his attitude towards everything, he was like this little like cocky kid or whatever, you know, trained by both Kenshi and Scorpion, Hanzo. It was just like really cool, right? Havoc, I love Havoc. I've always loved Havoc from the minute I was introduced to him in Mortal Kombat Deception. I got it on the PS2. As a kid, he scared the shit out of me. He was this creepy dude that would like do weird things with his body and eat you. As an adult, I am intrigued to see what they could do with him in Mortal Kombat 11. He's a highly requested character. The last time we saw him was in Joker's ending, actually. And I personally feel like Havoc... I feel like Havoc not being utilized for Mortal Kombat 11 would be such a waste. Because, like, first of all, the game is, like, super hyper-realistic. Havoc would be creepy as fuck, honestly. And having Havoc and Joker interaction would just be literally, like, fucking perfect. Like, just the amount of jokes that they could pull off with each other. So awesome. And then, like, he can... I remember he had like certain moves in Mortal Kombat Deception where he'd break his neck for health. He had this projectile, but instead of crouching down, he'd break his own legs to crouch down and it popped them back up. He had this advancing torso twist move, but his torso would twist all the way around. Just an awesome character to have in a fighting game, right? Now here comes Michael Myers. So I love guest characters. I think they're fun. I love the horror icons. I think it's cool to play as some of our favorite movie characters in a fighting game. My issue with Michael Myers is that he doesn't talk, and I just don't know what some of his gear options are going to be. The two obvious ones are, of course, the mask and the knife, but then after that, I have no idea. I don't remember enough about the Halloween movies to know any other iconic weapons that he uses. But for me personally, if he played anything like his Terrordrome counterpart, then I have reason to be excited. I actually had a conversation with my girlfriend earlier that if there's any studio that could do justice to Michael Myers, it absolutely is NetherRealm. The only thing that bothers me is his gear customization options and the character intros. Because like Jason already didn't talk, and the Terminator already plays like Jason 2.0. So I think like in my head, I'm not able to wrap around how they would be able to work with Michael Myers. But I'm still excited nonetheless. You know what I mean? Just the idea that you could customize his different masks and some of his different skins from like the different movies and whatnot, I think that'd be really cool. I'm gonna be a little reserved on Michael until like there's an official confirmation. But for right now, it's like my excitement level from like between 1 and 10 is probably like a 6. So like it's like right in the sweet spot. But I'll wait for like official information before I get like super ecstatic about it. Coincide the Halloween Kills, Cassie Cage would get a babysitter. So now here's an instance where I don't want something to be true, but the recent pattern that NetherRealm has had, I absolutely believe that if Michael Myers was a thing in this game, that Cassie Cage would get a Laurie Strode skin. Now you gotta remember, like Laurie Strode from the first movie, she's a young woman, right? So I saw comments on the Reddit saying that, oh, Sonya would be even better to have this skin because blah, 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 blah. It's like Cassie and Laurie are about the same age, so, you know, it makes sense. I just don't like that Cassie Cage would potentially get another skin that's like tied to a combat pack skin. You know what I mean? Because like when the game was being marketed, it was being marketed in such a way as like, oh, buy the combat pack. You'll get, you know, early access to the DLC characters. You'll get exclusive skins that are only available in the combat pack. And I believe like so far 2 of those skins have been Cassie. And it's just really, it's just like, it's so annoying because we have other characters in this game that deserve the skin treatment that deserve to have cool skins, but they keep going to Cassie. Me personally, I will pick up a character if they have cool skins or cool colors. For instance, the last pack that came out with the Joker, Baraka got a Killer Croc skin. The Killer Croc skin is the best skin Baraka has. Now, I personally want to play Baraka because he looks really fucking cool. Like, he looks even cooler to me personally, you know? So the fact that we could be getting a skin that's wasted on Cassie, I absolutely hate that. I believe, like, if Michael's confirmed, I absolutely believe the Cassie Cage Laurie Strode skin. But I don't like it. Absolutely don't like it. Moving on, Deadpool and Soul Chamber. We already knew these were coming because of PC leaks, so I'm not surprised. I am absolutely excited to see Deadpool and the Soul Chamber MK11 eyes being like hyper realistic. So like Mortal Kombat 11, especially on the PC version of the game, looks absolutely beautiful. It's like the best looking fighting game that's out right now, bar none. You know, it's just like super beautiful to look at. I would have preferred the Combat Tomb, especially with the stage fatality. That would have been really cool, especially in Mortal Kombat 11. But the Soul Chamber is of course a very beautiful stage. If you go back and play MK9, it's still one of the more beautiful stages that the game has. So like, I'm a little let down, but I am absolutely excited. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like a give and take thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm excited. Ooh, but I would have preferred that. But this is still cool, you know? I also believe that the Combat Pack 2 will take us into early 2021, again, to coincide with what the developers told us, that the game was going to be the most supported game. That's fine. That's totally cool. Take your time. I'm not rushing. I am excited for more characters being in this game and them like changing up the meta and having interesting playstyles. So it's like, yeah, like I totally believe that DLC will take us into early next year. That's totally fine. Don't have a problem with that. But here's where like things get like really interesting. So I'll reread this, right? So one last batch of content in the form of Mortal Kombat Ultimate Edition. NetherRealm has this string of NetherRealm has the habit of releasing like the ultimate version of their game with all of the previous DLC on it. So like that right there, we already knew is coming. NetherRealm has established that pattern from like all the way back during MK9 days, right? So that's totally fine. For Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. Now, I would imagine that the Ultimate Edition will be a physical edition, just like what they did with MK9 and MKX with XL and Injustice 2, so that's fine. It is interesting that they're getting a physical edition for Series X and PlayStation 5. Let me see, roughly around the edge there, blah, blah, blah. We'll ship with 2 more arenas, Living Forest and the Pit. So, we're getting, for us owners of the game that already... we already have the game, right? We'll be getting an update for that. I don't agree with paying for an additional price. I know there are fighting games on the market like Street Fighter and like Guilty Gear and whatnot that will release an updated version of the game, like an ultimate version, or like what Street Fighter 5 did recently with the Champion Edition, like an upgrade price. I would imagine if Mortal Kombat is going to do that, if NetherRealm's going to do that, that they're going to add more things to justify paying an additional price for that update. So Living Forest, the Pit, and 4 final characters, Sector, Cyrax, Quan Chi, and Serena. I do believe that Sector and Cyrax are going to be in the game, especially with their redesigns, and Sector technically has 2 costumes in the game, his default and the Chronica outfit that you fight in story mode. But I do not believe the Quan Chi and Serena. I absolutely believe that that's a stretch. Until something is confirmed on, like, let's say, for instance, during Final Combat next month, when, like, if we're shown anything significant, I refuse to believe the Quan Chi and Serena thing. I think that's too much of a stretch. I understand that Mortal Kombat 11 does have the timeline and time travel shenanigans, but Quan Chi was just killed in the last game, and Scorpion finally got his revenge. You know what I mean? So bringing him back would just, like, sour that and make his whole redemption arc within the new trilogy that NetherRealm has established. It would just like leave a stain on that. I personally would prefer other characters. I'd prefer Sector, Cyrax, Nitara, and Serena. We get 2 males and 2 much needed female representations in this game, and it'll be characters from like the 3D era, which would be nice. Living Forest and the Pit. Living Forest is a stage that I wanted back since MKX. It's such a beautiful stage. It's such an iconic stage. from the classic games, and it's such an interesting concept. Trees that could eat you. It's a spooky forest and whatnot. And I guess a version of the living forest is in the crypt. Like, it's not exactly the same thing, but the trees are spooky. So I was like for me personally, it gives me like that vibe. A Mortal Kombat game without the pit is a shame, but there is something I want to point out. At the end of Mortal Kombat X's lifespan, they for Kombat Pack 2, they gave us Sector and Cyrax with Triborg as DLC, and the pit ended up being a free update. It will be upsetting to see them repeating that with Sector, Cyrax, and the pit. But then it leads me back to the idea that if this like grand update is going to be something that you're going to charge us for, don't just give us Sector, Cyrax, and the pit. Don't just give us something that you did in the previous game. Give us more of a thing, right? And that's actually going to lead me to this final little tidbit down here, where it says that extra story chapters and additional areas for the crypt were originally planned but scrapped. I honestly hope that this is not true. Since the game launched and since I did a bunch of the stuff in the crypt, I've been hoping for an update to the crypt. It's such a great original idea, and it's my favorite iteration of the crypt, that it could honestly spin off into its new game, right? We have this new character that we're exploring in the crypt. It's no longer like this first person thing. It's like third person over the shoulder. We have this full character model of, in my opinion, is a cool character design. We don't know anything about him. We don't know why he's on Shang Tsung's island. You know what I mean? We don't know why Shang Tsung is giving him passage over the island, without bothering him. You know? I would like more content added to the crypt where not just, don't just give us Mortal Kombat lore. Don't just give us more world building. I would like to know who this person is. And I enjoyed the crypt so much. Sometimes I just load up the crypt just to explore, just to go around, just to see if there's anything that I missed. It's one of my favorite crypts in any Mortal Kombat game. I prefer it over, previously my favorite crypt was Deception. And that's a lot to say because Mortal Kombat X's crypt was really cool with, the finding items and whatnot. But I really don't want this to be true. I want them to work on the crypt. And the extra story chapters, I feel like would be such a great idea. Because instead of us waiting, another 4 years to see what's going to happen next in the next Mortal Kombat game, launch those extra story chapters so we can see what Liu Kang is doing. Now that he's the god of time, or I forgot what they call them specifically. I like the story mode so much that I want to know what happens now. Either extra story mode chapters or release a comic book that takes place after Mortal Kombat 11 story mode. I personally don't want to wait the extra 2, 3, or 4 years. I really like what they did with the time travel. I'm really interested to see what Liu Kang is going to do to try to balance good versus evil, because you have to have that balance. If you don't, everything goes to shit. But this honestly, and my throat is getting really dry. Sorry. Obviously take this with a grain of salt. I would imagine that there is specific pieces of this leak that are true. There's obviously things that this person could have guessed with the things we already knew, with Fujin Shiva, Ash, Havoc, Michael Myers, stuff like that. Deadpool, Soul Chamber, that's not hard. But with the Ultimate Edition, Series X, PS5, all the other stuff, it's intriguing. It's definitely what it is. It's absolutely intriguing. I don't believe all of it, especially my biggest thing is the Quan Chi and Serena thing. I don't believe that. Serena's cool because we've been requesting her, but Quan Chi's dead. Shang Tsung's in this game. Quan Chi's dead. It would be cool to have the Deadly Alliance in the game again, but Quan Chi had his time in MKX. Leave him over there. We don't need him again. Shang Tsung's a much better character, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. Leave him out. Honestly, if you wanna get the Mortal Kombat community riled up, I say Sector, Cyrax, Melina, and Serena. Again, we get the 2 cyborgs, right? We get more women on the roster, and we get 2 of the most requested women, in my opinion. I would honestly prefer Nitara, but Melina and Serena, you just the fan base was just perfect. It's just totally content. Excuse me, in my opinion. But those are my thoughts. With this coming out now, well, excuse me, I'm seeing this now. According to the post, it was up, I believe this was on 4chan. It's like, this looks familiar. This was uploaded on January 10th of this year. I'm only seeing this now. And again, there are things here that I do believe. I am excited for some things. I call bullshit on other things. And I would like more updates come next month. And for me, the biggest takeaway is the potential that crypt updates and extra story updates will not be a thing. That would be, so like, even if everything else here wasn't true, and if the crypt and the extra story mode chapters ended up being true, I would be like really sad and like really disheartened. Like, just knowing that that's not going to be a thing. I feel like that would be my biggest takeaway from this. Like, I would be most disappointed if that didn't happen. Because I love Mortal Kombat 11, like, as it is. Please, by all means, keep adding guest characters. Keep adding Mortal Kombat characters. Like, Mortal Kombat is my favorite franchise of all time. I do have problems with the way NetherRealm has done things in the past and currently with this game. But I still love this game to death. So there's nothing that you could do that's going to make me hate it. Besides, like, you know, there's a no crypt update and the no extra story mode chapters. But, guys, that's my opinion. Those are my thoughts. Please let me know down in the comments below. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about this potential leak? Again, take everything in this leak with a grain of salt. We'll find out more information potentially at Final Kombat next month, March 7th. So mark your calendars. If you haven't done so already, please give this video a like. Give this video a thumbs up. Show your friends. Let them know what I do over here. Right now I have Mortal Kombat videos, and I'm doing a Batman Arkham Asylum playthrough. I'm going to do Arkham City and Arkham Knight. There have been rumors about a new Batman game coming from WB Montreal. I will be covering that once more info is given to us. I'm having a lot of fun on my channel. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun on my channel. Give this video a subscribe. It'll really help out a small channel like me. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, and I'll see you soon.